It is lunchtime on a Thursday, and I am at Kickback Pinball Cafe in Lawrenceville, just outside of Pittsburgh, surrounded by some of my favorite things. Pinball machines, including Alien, Guardians of the Galaxy. Got the Kiss machine over there. Meteor, Andromeda, Big Game, and Jaws. Welcome back to Classic Game Room, the podcast. Is everyone ready?
Checkpoint.
That's right. Today I'm taking a look at and a listen to Jaws, the pinball machine, a brand new game from Stern featuring fish, chum, and everyone's favorite shark movie, Jaws. No relation to the James Bond bad guy. Though I did play a Dr. No machine on the same day. Jaws, one of the best movies ever made, and a strange choice for a fast-paced pinball machine. Have you seen Jaws? I assume you've probably seen Jaws. If you're listening to this show, odds are you're in the Jaws demographic. Which, by the way, is the best demographic. Cheers. Apparently my mom saw Jaws when she was pregnant with me, which she claims says a lot about how I turned out. I'll take that as a compliment.
Congratulations.
It's not a fast-paced movie. It's classic cinema that builds, and it's by today's standards, it's incredibly slow-paced, but it's a movie that everyone knows. So in that respect, perhaps it makes for a good license. Like you walk into the arcade and you see Jaws. Maybe you forgot that the movie takes an hour and a half to build. Regardless, it's a great movie, and a great choice for a pinball machine, as it turns out. Kudos to Stern for doing a really good job capturing the atmosphere and the plot of Jaws and the shark. Of course, like the shark is not really the star, but kind of the star. So if you've ever had dreams about smacking sharks in the face with balls, well, now's your chance. Based on the 1975 movie, which I still consider to be the best film that Steven Spielberg ever made, Jaws Pinball from Stern is fabulous, and let me explain why. Why is because it captures the spirit and the atmosphere of Jaws, and it plays well, and it's super fun. It doesn't take much more than that to make for a good pinball machine. I know we're doing radio here instead of TV, but check it out online if you want to see what this thing looks like. It's a beautiful game. And like the other Stern offerings as of late, there's a giant screen in the middle which shows clips from the movie and plays a lot of dialogue. Which I kind of forgot how funny it all is. Like, it's a really good movie. I need to watch it again. It's been a few years. Robert Shaw in particular really just steals the show. Jaws has everything a good pinball machine needs in addition to a good license. And sharks. We've got a chum bucket. I like the chum bucket. More pinball games need chum buckets. That's how you lure the sharks, or one of the many ways that you lure sharks. And this one is the premium edition here at Kickback. I played the Pro Edition. The premium one is way nicer. It's got like a second level up there. I like that. It's a fun game. It helps that I love the movie too. I'd love to play you some more audio from the machine, but of course, any isolated recordings of the John Williams Jaws theme will result in this video coming straight down. I could spew hate and misinformation all day, but playing some good music from a movie that's in the game as journalism, that's of course right out. But you know it's there. Can I do that? Am I allowed to do that? It's in the game. You know it. You know the music. It's almost the same music from Asteroids. And then there's a lot of clips from the movie with Roy Scheider, Richard Dreyfuss, and like they've just managed to incorporate all of these different events and scenes from the film into the gameplay in almost comical way. Like you're getting scars, you're saving people swimming in the water, you're obviously chasing sharks and catching sharks. hitting this bucket of chum that swings back and forth. And then that little shark fin pops up in the middle of the playfield, and you have to aim for it and hit the shark fin, and you're smacking the boat over and over again, which in the premium edition contains a shark beneath the boat, which is super cool. And then there's like a second level, which to me just looks like a nautical themed bar, but I think a nautical themed bar is meant to look more like a nautical themed, I don't know, ship? Isn't that what nautical themed things look like, as ships? To me, they look like bars that look like ships. That says, again, this all dates back to my mom seeing Jaws in the theater, apparently. That screwed me up for life, in a good way. See, now I need to grab a beer at a Red Lobster. I got distracted by the shark that popped up beneath the boat in the premium edition here, and then lost my ball. Score is 94,254,790. Game over. Watching Richard Dreyfuss and Roy Scheider swim off into the mass of seagulls. Yeah, the first thing I did when I showed up at Kickback is log into the machine with my phone using the Stern app and the QR code. Super cool, I love that. It's like you're getting achievement points for playing pinball. Very clever. Works really well too. Saves my high scores. And of course, like usual, whenever I review a game, the day that I'm reviewing the game is the day that I suck ass at that game. Like I've had better games at Jaws, but not today. The shark had my number today. Game 2 for today. Jaws multi-ball is good fun, but I did a rotten job on that one. Got my ass handed to me by a giant fish. What do you do when you root for the shark, though? I think you're trying to save the people in this game, but I want to feed them to the shark. Stern has a style for sure, and Jaws fits right into it. It plays like a lot of the other recent Stern offerings, and they do a good job combining the license and the atmosphere of Jaws with a fairly straightforward game. After you've played it a couple times, I think it's pretty obvious, at least on the basic level, what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to aim for, what ramps you're supposed to hit, multi-ball, smack the chum button, hit the boat, aim for the sharks. It's fun. It's an approachable game, but like any of these games, to take it to the next level, you've got to be pretty serious and pretty good at it, which I'm not. But I had fun playing it. That's what's important. It's fun. It's not overwhelming like some of the other games that I've played lately, where there's just like the whole playfield's flashing at you at once, and there's like 1,000 LEDs. Jaws keeps you focused on the gameplay, and it plays well. So if you enter your arcade, your barcade, or whatever, and you see Jaws, make sure you stop to play it. It's really good. Definitely worth your time. One of my favorite Stern games lately. I like it a little more than Deadpool. Deadpool's pretty good. I like it a bit more than Venom. Venom's also pretty good, but there's just something special about Jaws. Like if I had to choose between Godzilla and Jaws, I would just play them both, to be honest. Those are my two favorites. And I don't think I covered the Godzilla game yet. Oh, well, there's an excuse to go out and drink some more beer and play some pinball for another podcast. You know what I know a lot about? Nothing useful. I know a lot about Godzilla. And if the game's got Gigan, the game's got to be good. I have been eaten by a shark many times in one day. Too many times, in fact. I think my first game was the best. That's how it was over the weekend when I played this. Also, Jaws is a lot of fun. It's just a really unique machine compared to everything else. It doesn't have like a sci-fi feel or anything. It's got a nautical feel, like a bit of a 70s throwback, and that's pretty unique. I like that. I'm gonna go play some Labyrinth now. David Bowie's been looking over my shoulder the whole time, which, to be honest, is kind of weird. Man, I chose the wrong game to review today. Got my ass kicked at Jaws, but I am kicking the crap out of Guardians of the Galaxy. Still got one more ball to go here, maybe two, I don't know, 144 million. Let's keep it going. Guardians of the Galaxy, 164 million, 261, 630, and a free game. The original recording was rudely interrupted by Michael Jackson singing in the background. Best MJ song, Can't Stop Till You Get Enough, all day, every day. All right, Jaws, that's good. And you know what? So is Guardians of the Galaxy. I also never got that on the show. There's quite a backlog, as it turns out. Many excuses to go out and play some pinball. Not that I need an excuse, but an excuse helps. For what reason, I'm not sure, but I got to share my enjoyment and my mediocre pinball gameplay with all of you, so hopefully you've dug it, and maybe you didn't know there was a Jaws pinball machine, but there is, so go find one. I think if you get the Stern app, it'll actually show you where the local games are. If you're in an urban area, that you're more likely to find one. Guardians is also a lot of fun, a little more traditional gameplay. Smack the superheroes over and over again until you get insane points. That one just feels good as well. I like the Groot multi-ball, Groot throws up the multi-ball in your face. It's great. So many more pinball machines here to get on Classic Game Room, the podcast. When do we get Spaceballs, the pinball machine? I feel like that's an obvious one. I mean, talk about a game with endless one-liners. The I'm surrounded by assholes multi-ball, I think, is a multi-ball that we need. I mean, they're called space balls. I mean, surely you can work that into a pinball machine, Stern. See you next time on Classic Game Room, the podcast. Or, well, I guess you'll hear me next time. I won't see you at all. You'll hear me on Classic Game Room, the podcast from the future. So, as always, make sure you subscribe to this podcast wherever it is that you're listening to this podcast on, from, wherever, Pocket Rocker. Doesn't matter, subscribe. I really tried to get my stuff on Pocket Rocker, by the way. I actually looked into that. The music is from Omega Ronin. You can find that on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, everything, Bandcamp, whatever. Well, everything but Pocket Rocker, as it turns out. Why is Pocket Rocker the hard audio format to get stuff on these days? I would have an easier time with Edison cylinders than Pocket Rocker. Anyway, see you next time.